Good evening, everybody. Well, we just heard about the importance of semiconductors to the Twin Cities. Now I'm going to talk about another incredible technology, and that's the tree. Yes, that's right, the tree. Green Minneapolis's hey, do not laugh. At the end of this, I don't want you to be laughing. I want you to be calling me. Green Minneapolis's marquee program is the Twin Cities Climate Resiliency Initiative. It's a 20-year program to plant 5 million trees across the 7-county metro area of the Twin Cities. Why are we doing this? Climate change, and you are noticing it even today with our rain, climate change is impacting the residents of the Twin Cities today. The last 2 summers were the driest and hottest on record. We have greater heat waves, we have longer droughts, we have extreme precipitation events with flooding, and air pollution is worsening, and water pollution is worsening because of this weather. And the most disadvantaged residents in the Twin Cities are being impacted the most. Fortunately, there is a solution. Scientists say that urban trees are one of the most cost-effective ways of mitigating climate change on urban residents. Why is that? Urban trees don't only sequester carbon, which is super important right now, but they do a lot of other things for urban residents. They capture 60% of the rainfall that fall on them instead of flooding neighborhoods and polluting our waterways. They cool urban heat islands. They filter air pollution significantly so that the air we breathe is better. And energy companies will tell you that trees planted appropriately will reduce the energy use for heating and cooling by 30%. So our plan over the next 20 years to plant 5 million trees is going to position the Twin Cities as a climate resilient national leader. And we're going to create thousands of green economy jobs when we build this new infrastructure. But we've got some challenges in achieving this vision. The first is our urban tree canopy today is declining, it's not growing. So emerald ash borer is going to take out literally hundreds of thousands of trees across the Twin Cities and millions across the state of Minnesota. And urban development, climate change that's making it harder for our trees to thrive are also reducing our urban tree canopy. And meanwhile, our local governments that are doing a lot of the tree planting are struggling to fund new tree planting. So to plant 5 million trees in 20 years, we need somewhere close to $500 million to do that over the next 20 years, or $25 million a year. Green Minneapolis has a plan for how we're going to do this. First, we're building a coalition of partners to work on this with us. Partners like the Trust for Public Land, the Nature Conservancy, the Regional Chamber of Commerce, and local companies like Sagility and other companies as well. We're advocating for more public funding. I want to thank Mayor Fry. We got $1 million in ARPA funding for this program that is going to all 100% go to planting more trees across the city of Minneapolis. We're also supporting Governor Walz's budget proposal for $16 million in new funding for urban trees. And most importantly, for all of us in the Twin Cities, there's $1.5 billion in the Biden administration's Inflation Reduction Act that is earmarked for urban forestry projects. We need to get our fair share here in the Twin Cities, and Green Minneapolis is working to do that. Last but not least, and for all of you who are either with local governments or who are working in companies, we have created the first urban tree carbon offset program in the state of Minnesota, and it's today the largest program in the United States. So what are we doing? We are partnering with local governments who are planting trees. We're enrolling those trees into long-term carbon offset programs. And then we take those carbon offsets and we sell them to local companies that want to actually offset their emissions, along with other things they're doing to reduce their emissions, and help impact the health and livelihood of local residents here in the Twin Cities. We completed our first project last year with the Minneapolis Park and Recreation Board, 23,000 trees, and we sold our first carbon offsets just in December, one to Winslow Capital and the other set to Excel Energy. And that's just our first project. We have many more projects underway, and we're looking for local governments across the Twin Cities to partner with us. So what's our vision of success? 10 years from now, 15 years from now, we're going to have a green infrastructure across the Twin Cities that is making the Twin Cities one of the most climate resilient places to live, places to work, one of the most climate resilient economies in the country. And we're going to be attracting businesses and refugees from harder hit parts of the country who are looking for a climate resilient city to live in. So what are we looking for now? First, we're looking for local governments across the Twin Cities to partner with us. If you want to plant trees, I want to hear from you, and we're going to help you get trees planted. And I'm also looking to connect with companies that, through their ESG objectives, are looking to offset their emissions with their emissions. And so what we would like to do is talk to your ESG teams about how local urban tree-based carbon offsets can help you address your emission challenges. Thank you, Greater MSP, and everyone in the room for letting me share a little bit about what Green Minneapolis is doing to make the Twin Cities climate resilient.